Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Chicago White Sox. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes after an hour-and-a-half rain delay. Let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Tuesday evening, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, fresh off his grand salami last night, Julio Rodriguez. And on the right, White Sox stud Chase Meadroff. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, DHing for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting third, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for Seattle, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing first base, Rowdy Tellez. Batting seventh, playing right field, Leody Taveras. Batting eighth, playing second base, Dylan Moore. And batting ninth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And making his starting debut in 2025, a 3-1 record in the pen, ERA 1.84. Really the only logical guy that we could go with at the moment, since Bryce Miller's injury kind of, reset the rotation, so to speak. Welcome, Casey Legumina. Let's go, Casey. And now let's get into the starting lineup for the home Chicago White Sox. Leading off for the White Sox at shortstop, Chase Meadroff. Batting second, playing left field, former Seattle Mariner, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. Batting third, playing right field, Joshua Palacios. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, third baseman, Miguel Vargas. Batting fifth, playing center field, Luis Robert Jr. Batting sixth, catching today for the White Sox, Edgar Quero. Batting seventh, DHing today for the Sox, Andrew Vaughn. Batting eighth, playing second base, Lennon Sosa. And batting ninth, playing first base, Timothy Elko. And making his debut, obviously with a recent signing with a 1-year deal, a little bit over $1 million in salary. Welcome to the Chicago White Sox, making his debut, Adrian Hauser. So obviously, it's going to be a very interesting matchup. With that being said, Adrian Hauser has bounced around from team to team and, hasn't got a chance to play because he was a free agent. So we're going to have essentially a free agent pitcher pitching for the White Sox after an hour-and-a-half rain delay. And then we're going to have one of our bullpen guys start because of the Bryce Miller injury. And we didn't really want to have someone start maybe a day early. Now, obviously, we have the rubber match tomorrow early at like 11 a.m. Pacific for Logan Evans. So they didn't want to move him a day too soon. You want to make sure you're giving the proper rest. But the good thing is George Kirby and Logan Gilbert should be ready pretty freaking soon. So this will probably be the only start from a guy in the pen that you're going to see all year. Fingers crossed. Leading off for the Mariners, shortstop J.P. Crawford. On deck, DHing Jorge Polanco. And batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. We're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go Mariners. And I actually like our chances with Legomina, on the mound, like I was talking to Reflect, earlier today. If he gives up 3 runs or less, even if he gives up 4, I still think that we'll have a very good chance to win. Now, hopefully, he can match his ERA and give up 2 runs or less. But again, he's a bullpen guy, not a starter. So he's going to have an extended outing. But I think that, even if he does give up 3-4 runs, the Mariners have proven that we can get to 5 to 10 runs almost every matchup throughout the year. So we'll see where it goes here today. First pitch takes a strike looking from Hauser to Crawford. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. High and away with a curveball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hauser to JP. 1-1 pitch. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hauser to JP Crawford. Let's go, JP. Let's find a way. A very unusual matchup, a guy that they just signed in free agency for 1 year, a little bit over $1 million, getting his first start here in 2025 for any team. Pitch fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hauser to Crawford. And then our guy coming in from the pen. But I guess if I had to be in either team's shoes, definitely being Legomina and the Mariners would definitely be a little bit of an advantage here. 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the top of the first. 0-0 Mariners and White Sox after an hour-and-a-half rain delay. And I didn't really think that they were going to play this game. And I looked at the weather report, for the Chicago area for tomorrow. It's supposed to rain pretty much all day tomorrow. So a doubleheader was totally out of the question. So if it's just going to be sprinkling, throughout the matchup, today and tomorrow, that's what we're going to get. Top of the first. 0-0 Mariners and White Sox. 2-2 pitch in play. And J.P. Crawford single to center, baby. That's what I like to see. Nice job, J.P. Next up, DHing for the Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. Let's bring that electricity, baby. First pitch to Polo. Low and in the zone with a curveball. 0-1 count from Hauser to Jorge Polanco. Uma in the building, Alec in the building, Michael in the building, Reflect in the building. What's good? Hashtag in the building. What's good? But I'm really happy that they decided to go with the game. 0-1 pitch in play, and Polo grounds out into the double play. Throw to first. Got him. That's tough. 2 away. Not ideal when you get a guy on, with the first batter of the game. But again, it does happen pretty often. Next up, center fielder, fresh off his grand salami, Julio Rodriguez. I like the hustle by Polo running to first, but just couldn't get there in time. And we'll see if Julio can get something going and keep the hot streak flowing. Let's go, J-Rod. Trident's up. Second grand salami for his career yesterday. We love the mustard and rye bread, baby. First pitch takes a strike looking in the zone. 0-1 count from Hauser to Julio. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Big swing and a miss by Julio. Behind in the count, 0-2. Let's go, Julio. We need a good outing here today. Hashtag, I appreciate that. I feel, there's quite a few people that do baseball streams. Not as many, obviously, as like the NFL. Obviously that's going to be the most popular. Baseball, basketball, hockey. It's kind of a niche market, not only for a fan, but also for streamers. But I do feel that, I'm going to give you an unbiased, breakdown. And again, I feel that, we do have one of the better baseball channels here, even though I do a little bit of everything: baseball, basketball, football, hockey, wrestling, NASCAR. But I feel that we definitely represent the Mariners well and the MLB well. Pitch fouled off, behind in the count now 0-2. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hauser to Julio. 1-2 pitch with a cutter, low and away, about 5 feet off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs with nobody on. Top of the first with a 0-0 score, an hour and a half rain delay. Hey, but we're still here, and I'm really happy that they decided not to cancel the game because, again, if they were going to go for a doubleheader, we got a rubber match tomorrow at 11 a.m., 11:30 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, pretty early. So there wasn't going to be an opportunity for that, especially if it's going to be raining all day tomorrow, too. No roof there in Chicago. Maybe they should have thought of that before building that stadium. Pitch is outside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 3-2 pitch. Inside. And that is fouled off with the sinker by Julio Rodriguez. Count still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the first inning, 0-0 Mariners and White Sox. Stormbum in the building. What's good? Let's go, baby. Julio grinding out this at-bat. Another foul ball with that sinker right down the middle. Just a little bit behind that pitch. Let's go, Julio. And there you go. You're not going to see Julio have too many 9-pitch at-bats, but way to have the discipline and not swing right there and to be able to force a walk. Nice job, Julio Rodriguez. Julio to first with a 9-pitch walk. Next up, a guy that is definitely overdue for a home run. You know who it is. It's big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Trident's up. Let's join the party, baby. Let's go. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Hopefully we'll be able to bust out the Trident a few times here today, especially with these pitchers on the mound. Not necessarily Legomina, but, here with, obviously, Hauser. Pitch is high and away. 2-0 count from Hauser to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 2-0 pitch, fouled off, high and away with the sinker. 94 miles an hour there by Hauser. Freshly signed as a free agent, making his debut here in 2025. So, no real film to go off of for a pitcher like this. Let's go, Cal. Already 20 pitches in this first inning, grinding out these at-bats. And Cal in play and pops out to the shortstop, and that is it. End of the top of the first inning for the Seattle Mariners. Let's see if the White Sox can have any better luck here in the bottom of the first. On the mound for the Mariners as a bullpen pitcher, one of our best. Obviously we like Matt Brash, we like Gabe Spire, and Andres Munoz is definitely an all-star this year. But this is probably a guy that we should be talking about in the same breath as Matt Brash, as well as Gabe Spire, Casey Legomina. 3-1 record with an ERA of 1.84. Normally he doesn't start. He's a bullpen guy. So we'll see how this goes. But it's going to go a lot better than Casey Lawrence, which we saw fill in after the Logan Gilbert injury. And 2 different pitchers, both named Casey, but obviously Legomina is the better Casey of the 2. Leading off for the White Sox, shortstop Chase Meadroth. Batting second, the former Seattle Mariner left fielder Hollywood Josh Rojas. And batting third, right fielder Joshua Palacios. Let's go, Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall. And we've been doing pretty good with the likes. Obviously hitting, usually around 40 to 60 now, in this nice little run that we're having. So again, looks like we got about 70% of the people that have done it already. We're already at 12. That's a good start. 8 more to go to hit 20. And again, that'll hit the algorithm and help us get more people throughout, obviously, the YouTube stream. All right, let's go, Casey. First pitch to Mydroth. Takes a strike looking with a four-seam fastball, 0-1 count. Bottom of the first, we're knotted up here at 0. Daniel in the building, what's good? In play on the 0-1 pitch, and a nice little base knock for Mydroth there into left field. A nice little single there as Julio ends up scooping up that ball, holding a single, not to a double. Next up, the former Seattle Mariner left fielder, Josh Rojas. First pitch, 5 feet off the plate, high and away with the sinker, 91 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Appreciate that, Keith. Pitches high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Legomina to Rojas. And they have this new kind of thing that they're beta testing on the streaming platform. I'm gonna turn it on, and we're gonna see what it looks like on the stream. And there in the corner, as it got a little bit darker, as someone ends up making a comment, it should pop up on the screen. Now, I don't know what it's gonna look like, on the screen, when you guys type something in, but as the comments come in, we should see them on screen. If it's going to be too big or too distracting, with the layout that I have, I'm not going to use it, but I just turned it on. So for any comment that we get moving forward, you should be able to have it pop up there. And we have a 4-pitch walk to Josh Rojas. That's unfortunate there by Casey Legomina. And now we got runners at first and second with no outs. Next up, right fielder Joshua Palacios. But if someone wants to be able to try out, type something on the comment section there. Let's see if it pops up on the screen. There's plenty of people in the room. Bottom of the first, runners at first and second with no outs. First pitch from Legomina to Palacios. Inside at the hips, 1-0 count. Or maybe I needed to turn it on. Maybe I needed to turn it on before the stream started. I don't know. I figure. Oh, there it is. So you can see it there on the bottom right. There we go. You see it now? So there I don't know. I mean, it's got that kind of little bit of a shadow next to the baseball card there and whatnot. So I'm not sure if I really, this is something that they're beta testing. So again, they, are going to ask a few different streamers to kind of, try out some of these things that they have available to see if it ends up looking good. But as you can see, obviously to the right of me in the bottom right corner, the comments should be popping up over there. So not sure if I necessarily like that, but we'll see how it goes. I'll keep it on for a while, and then we'll, kind of talk about it as a group to see if that's something that we want to be able to have on stream, with the comments there, or if it's a little bit distracting based off my layout. Pitches high and away, takes a strike looking. 2 balls and 1 strike from Legomina to Palacios. Runners at first and second with no outs, and we need Casey to buckle down and lock in. 2-1 pitch, and that's fouled away with the 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Palacios from Casey Legomina. Pitch fouled off in the zone. Four-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour by Casey Legomina. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runners at first and second, and no outs. We don't want to get down early, especially when we're going against a pitcher that hasn't even pitched in 2025, just got signed, within a few hours as a free agent. So this is definitely going to be a winnable game for us. And even though we have a bullpen guy starting, it shouldn't matter. Just out of play there. Ben Williamson hustling towards the White Sox dugout, but just wasn't able to get there in time, and it went a little bit past the player area. Pitch fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 count with runners at first and second. Bottom of the first, 0-0 Mariners and White Sox. Let's go, baby. Don't want to give up any runs early. There we go. Ben Williamson with the pop-up. We'll take that. Palacios fouls out to third. 1 away. Good job by Big Ben. Next up, third baseman Miguel Vargas. First pitch to Vargas. And I was also kind of wondering, I put up photos, what's it going to look like? Is it going to be there still or not? And you can still see the comments there, even over the photos. So this is something that they just rolled out, this morning. So pitch is inside, high and tight with that sinker, 92 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Legomina to Vargas. And obviously the comments will still be in the normal comment section. It just depends if I use this beta version of this, seeing the comments on the actual screen itself and, in that separate column, or just, how we normally do it. So, four-seam fastball, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Legomina to Vargas. Let's see if we can get out of this jam that we're in right now. Bottom of the first, 0-0. Mariners and White Sox after an hour-and-a-half rain delay. Inclement weather, so to speak. There was definitely a pour down. 1-2 pitch in play. And thankfully, Miguel Vargas, the former Dodger, flies out to right. 2 away. Next up, center fielder Luis Robert Jr. Not as like I figured it was going to be. I don't know if there's going to be a way to change like the font, or the way how the size of it and whatnot. But based on the size of it, it's not too bad. I thought it was going to be a little bit, distracting where it was going to be too big on the screen and whatnot. But it's not too overbearing. Takes a strike, looking right down the pipe from Casey Legomina. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off, high and away. Behind in the count now, 0-2. 1 more strike for Legomina to get out of this early jam with runners at first and second with no outs. No. 2 outs. We just need 1 more, and then we can get back here to the top of the second and see if we can get something cooking here for the Seattle Mariners. 0-2 pitch. Low and away. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour, about 5 feet off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Let's go, Legomina. And Luis Robert Jr. strikes out swinging. There we go, baby. Nice job by Casey Legomina to get out of the inning. There we go, baby. way to get out of that jam and not give up anything. You're not a starter. You're a bullpen guy. So, and this is probably the best bullpen guy that we could probably think of, to have come in there. Obviously, Brash is coming off Tommy John, but we trust him, so he can't go. Gabe Spire could have been a guy that you maybe could have considered, even though he's been kind of hit or miss lately, but he's starting to get kind of back into that early season groove, and there really isn't anybody else that you could probably consider. So, all right, let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. In the top of the second, we're knotted up at 0. Next up for the Mariners, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second, first baseman in the 6-hole on deck, Rowdy Tellez. And batting third, right fielder Leody Taveras. Let's go Mariners. So what do we think for the people that are in the room right now? Do we like to have the chat on screen, or is it a little bit distracting, based on the layout? What do you guys think? Usually I'll take some, feedback, and obviously I have my own style and kind of unique format with my thumbnails and my presentation compared to others that, do streaming and whatnot. But, you guys let me know what you guys think of this new beta, test that they're doing with the comments that are actually on screen as well as in the normal location. Again, let me know what you guys think, and, I'll kind of mull it over, and we'll see if they make any updates to it, as the program expands and has more features that I'm allowed to use. So, but, my first kind of opinion of it initially was I was a little concerned on how big the font was going to be, and like if it was going to be a little overbearing, but it's not so big where it's kind of distracting. It's kind of probably the right size there. In play on the first pitch from Hauser to Randy, and Randy lines out to third, 1 away. But, it's all right. Like I said, I think that we can, have it on the screen, but also it wouldn't really bother me if it wasn't there either. So you guys let me know how you guys feel about it, and then I'll come to do a decision probably in a few days. Ken Griffey Jr., the greatest modern player ever. A guy that, didn't do steroids or PEDs. I don't know if he's the greatest modern player. That's debatable, regardless if you're a Mariner fan or an MLB fan or not. I think, he had 10 really healthy years and then 10 injury prone years. So if he wasn't injured, like let's say he had 15 healthy years and 5 injured years, he'd be number 1 in home runs. No doubt. And who knows how many he would have been able to get. Maybe he would have been able to, hit an insane number, like something really out of this world. So, but definitely he's my, idol. And, I got 2 heroes. One's Ken Griffey Jr., the other's my dad. So I'm a big Griffey guy. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hauser to Tellez. Yeah, I think for me, it's kind of like a distraction for me. Like I think that the idea is cool if you had a different type of layout where you didn't have things on the side like my baseball cards. If it was just like me and then like the scoreboard above, then I think it would probably work a little bit better. 2-2 pitch in play, and Rowdy lines out to center, 2 away. But since I do have the cards and I have kind of like all these things going on, I think I would agree with you as well. I think it really benefits usually like the people in the room rather than like the host and whatnot. But first pitch from Hauser to Leody Taveras takes a strike right down the middle and fouls that one off. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. And takes a strike swinging low and away, behind in the count now 0-2. If you're really looking at who are the best baseball players are playing today, obviously that's going to be Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge. There's no question about that. But if you go back into like the 80s and 90s, You know, you could definitely say Griffey because he might be the only superstar that didn't do PEDs or steroids. And I can respect that. Pitch is inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hauser to Tavares. And Tavares strikes out swinging. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning, and we're still knotted up here at 0. Next up for the White Sox in the 6th hole, catcher Edgar Quero. Batting second on deck in the 7th hole, DHing Andrew Vaughn. And batting third, second baseman Lennon Sosa. Let's go Mariners. Oh, I didn't see the Ken Griffey Jr. interview. Yeah, I think I'm gonna turn it off. You know, for me, like I said, if my format was a little bit different, where it was just like one big screen with like a scoreboard above with no cards on the side, I think it would work better. But just based off my layout, I don't think it really fits for me. You know, unless I'm doing a stream that is like, you know, one just big screen with me in the background with nothing on the sides or above me. Then, you know, like maybe when I'm doing like the wrestling streams, you know, when it's just like a big, you know, close up of me and then just like one single background, and then I think it would kind of work. But I feel like with my layout, it's a little too busy. I think I agree with Reflect as well. All right, let's go to the bottom of the second inning. We're knotted up here at 0. I mean, I think, like I said, it's, you know, every streamer kind of has a different platform and a look. And obviously, I feel like I'm kind of an old soul and an OG. So I want to make sure I'm paying homage, you know, to the old school era, you know, of baseball players and just baseball in general. And again, I definitely love, you know, the old school times in like the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. Obviously, when my dad grew up in the 50s and the 60s, you know, watching the Dodgers and whatnot in their heyday with Koufax and Drysdale and Duke Snyder. So, you know, that's why I end up usually using like the old school cards rather than modern day. There's just something about them, you know, and it kind of takes you back into a time where things were much more simpler and a little bit different. Bottom of the second inning, we're still knotted up at 0, which may be a surprise to some, especially when you got 2 pitchers that have never really done this before. You got Adrian Hauser, obviously a former Ranger, you know, free agent, hasn't even played here all year, hasn't even played at all, and he's making his first start in 2025. And then you got a bullpen guy in Casey Legomina, 3-1 record, 1.84 ERA, but that's obviously in the pen, not as a starter. But so far, you know, nothing really big at the moment. We'll see how it goes as the game progresses. Pitch is outside. 3 balls and 1 strike from Lawrence Vaquero. Three-one pitch. Change-up fouled off. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with no outs and nobody on. Bottom of the second, 0-0 Mariners and White Sox after an hour and a half rain delay. And hopefully we can get into a little bit of a rhythm here. And Quero flies out to center. Julio is there. No fly zone. 1 away. Next up, for the White Sox in the 7th hole, DHing Andrew Vaughn. Good hustle by Julio there. First pitch is low and away to Vaughn, 1-0 count. All right, we're 3 likes away from 20 and hitting the algorithm. If you are in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour, and that'll help us with the metrics moving forward for the rest of the stream. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Vaughn. 1 ball and 1 strike and 1 out with nobody on here in the bottom of the second. Casey Lawrence on the mound. Andrew Vaughn in the box. 1-1 pitch. And grounded out to second. Throw to first. 2 away. What was going on with the Ken Griffey Jr. interview? What were they interviewing him based off of just his photography career? Obviously he was a former White Sox for a very short period of time, so maybe that was part of it too. Being a Mariner and a White Sox, I assume that was part of it. Little dribbler by Vaughn. 2 away. Next up is second baseman Lenyn Sosa. First pitch is low and at the knees with the changeup. 88 miles an hour from Casey Lawrence. 1-0 count. Yeah. But I mean, if we're talking about, modern day, if Ohtani ends up playing 15 to 20 years, I mean, he's the closest thing to Babe Ruth that we've ever seen. If you actually look at his pitching numbers and his hitting numbers, they're almost identical, at that point of where Babe Ruth was in his career. And Sosa singles to left on Lawrence, right out to Randy Arozarena. Nice little base knock there by Sosa. Next up, first baseman Timothy Elko. First pitch at the knees to Elko from Lawrence. Takes a strike looking on the line. 0-1 count. And in play, Elko fouled out to Ben Williamson there. End of the second inning, and we're still knotted up here at 0. I got a different photo that I'm going to plug in here for Lenyn Sosa. So give me a second here. Got the new Lenyn Sosa photo in there. All right, let's go to the top of the third inning. Kind of surprised based on the pitchers that are in the game. A bullpen guy and a guy that's making his very first start in 2025 that the score is 0-0. Now, if this was the Mariner team from, the last 5 years, then it wouldn't shock me because, we had batting averages as a team, one of the worst at 180 to 200 as a team. But for the 2025 Mariners, we have been really raking, as one of the best hitting teams, not only in the American League, but overall. But hopefully the offense will be able to open up here in the top of the third. Next up for the Mariners, back at the top of the order, 1 for 1 with a single, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, 0 for 1, hitting into a double play, DHing Jorge Polanco. All right, hold up. That needs to be refreshed. That's not right. We just had Taveras. Dylan Moore is up, then Ben Williamson, and then J.P. You never can trust social media. There we go. Because I was going to say, didn't we end off the last inning with Leody Taveras? And we did. These people at MLB.com and ESPN and these other places, I can't trust them. Only the broadcast for the most part. First pitch is high and away to Dylan Moore. 1-0 count. I was about to say, didn't we we skipped a few guys? But again, I have to make sure I get it correct. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dylan Moore. Let's go, Demo. 1-1 pitch. Fouled off in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hauser to Dylan Moore. Ah, nice. Judah in the building, what's good? Lauren in the building, what's good? 1-2 pitch, high and away with a sinker, 94 miles an hour from Hauser. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and no outs. Top of the third, 0-0, Mariners and White Sox. And Demo strikes out swinging. Down goes Demo. Next up, a guy that started our rally twice yesterday. Could he do it again? Third baseman, Ben Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. Let's bring that electricity, baby. First pitch in play. Ben Williamson goes for that first pitch strike, but grounds out to the pitcher. 2 away. Come on, Big Ben. Got to be a little bit more patient, my guy. Now we're back at the top of the order. Shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. He had a single at his first at-bat. Let's see if he can get another one. First pitch, low and at the knees with a 4-seam fastball by Hauser. 1-0 count. Pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strike from Hauser to JP. Two-0 pitch, low and away. 3-0 count from Hauser to JP. This looks like it's going to end up being a walk. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low in the zone. 3 balls, 1 strike, nobody on with 2 outs. Hauser on the mound, making his MLB 2025 debut. And there is the walk. Usually when you get 3 balls, unless the pitcher is completely off, you'll get that, kind of gimme strike, and then the next pitch ends up being a ball. And we've seen that pretty often for the Seattle Mariners from the pitchers that we face. And we get it again. JP with good eyes, not getting baited. And we got a walk for JP. Productive day so far with a single and a walk. Now let's see if Polo, obviously has no chance to hit into a double play because we have 2 outs. But hopefully Polo can end up getting a nice base knock here or a 2-run homer to get us on the board. Let's go, Polo. We know you can do it. Bring that electricity, baby. First pitch, fouled off. Low and away with the changeup, 83 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Now, what happened with this? Some kind of interview or something, hating on Woo or something? I mean, all I know is Dan Wilson should be the manager of the American League, which more than likely he will be. And we should end up having Brian Woo, Cal Raleigh, and Andres Munoz as all-stars. And if Julio picks it up between now and all-star, voting before it cuts off, maybe Julio can be an alternate, depending on how the rest of the, May, June, as we get into July goes. It's still, it could be possible. He has been getting much better, and he typically gets better and better as the warmer months come about. And Polo with a little grounder throw to first, and that is the end of the Mariners in the top of the third. Let's go to the bottom of the third inning and see who's next up for the White Sox. Not JT in the building. What's good? Next up for the White Sox, leadoff hitter, 1-for-1, shortstop Chase Hydra. Batting second, 0-for-0 with a base on ball, left fielder, former Seattle Mariner third baseman Hollywood Josh Rojas. And batting third, 0-for-1, right fielder Joshua Palacios. Let's go Mariners. Yeah, Brian Wu, 5-1 record with a .87 whip. That's fourth among all MLB starters. You know, he's special this year. And again, you know, we've seen like Logan Gilbert make it and, you know, Kirby, you know, kind of being in the running. And it's just kind of cool to be able to see a guy like Wu, who used to be our 5 and now, you know, is our best pitcher on the staff as far as, you know, 2025 and whatnot. So well, hopefully Logan Gilbert will get back to his regular form and George Kirby will be good as well. Pitch is low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Lawrence to Mydroff. Bottom of the third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on with no outs. Casey Lawrence on the mound. And Chase Mydroff in the box. 1-1 pitch in play, and another single to left. Chase is being busy as the leadoff hitter. I put him on the thumb. I thought he'd be having a good day. Normally, I'm going to be putting Luis Robert Jr. on the thumb every single time, but I figured I would give love to at least another player, and you know, lo and behold, he's doing good. Next up is Josh Rojas. First pitch, high and away, about 5 feet off the plate with that changeup by Lawrence. 1-0 count. Bottom of the third with a runner at first and no outs. Hopefully we can get Rojas to hit into a double play here. A little slow dribbler up to JP, and we can throw it to Rowdy and get a double play for the Mariners, since we've already hit into one early in the matchup with Polo in the first inning with JP on first. 2-0 pitch. Fouls that one off in the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs. Rojas hit into the double play, baby. Let's go. Hour and a half rain delay, where we didn't know if this game was actually going to happen. It was supposed to start at 4:40 Pacific, but they had a fucking meltdown of rain, downpour. But I'm glad that they were able to get this game going, because we play tomorrow like at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, and it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow too. So there was no way they were going to be able to get a doubleheader in tomorrow. And then we have no days off, and then we have to go on the road and play the Astros for 4. So we need to try to sweep the White Sox. And again, if we can sweep the Padres, we can sweep anybody. Throw to first, Rowdy Tellez to keep Mydroff honest over there at first base. He's safe. Takes the strike looking in the zone. No. Out of the zone. This ump needs glasses. Holy cow. He's calling balls, strikes, balls. And I know I say this pretty much every stream, and anyone that's a baseball fan can complain about any ump in any game. You know, it's not like we have Angel Hernandez umping in every game, but gosh, some of them are so blatant. And Mydroff stole second. Safe. And it's like the ones that are right on the line don't bother me. The ones that bother me are the ones that are like a foot off the plate, you know, based off the strike zone that you see on TV or on MLB.com or ESPN, where it's like definitely a ball but called strike, or definitely a strike in the square and called ball, you know. But you know, every ump is different. Pitch fouled off in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Lawrence to Rojas. Now, luckily, Paisley doesn't matter. She doesn't mind the rain whatsoever. Pitch is low and away. Now count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and no outs. Hollywood Josh Rojas, the former Seattle Mariner third baseman, in the box. Casey Lawrence, our bullpen pitcher, on the mound. Wow, very close there. And got him. There we go. Nice job, Casey. Rojas strikes out swinging. That's exactly what we needed. One away. Down goes Hollywood. Next up, right fielder Joshua Palacios. Let's go, Legomina. Yeah, and I don't mind the rain. I kind of like it. When it's not a downpour. Like just a little bit of a sprinkle, especially when it's like early in the morning, when it rained earlier in the middle of the night, and you can smell like that morning dew, and everything smells better. The flowers, the trees, the air. It's kind of like spiritual, to a certain degree. I feel like a different type of aura and vibe, when it's been dry for quite a while, and then you get that first rain, and if you can actually appreciate nature, and I get to go outside and walk my dog 3 times a day, so I'm out there. And Palacios getting it done, single to right. Meidroff scores 1-0 White Sox. That was a nice base knock by Joshua Palacios. Next up, the former Dodger third baseman Miguel Vargas, and we have to get a double play here. We can't let them score any more than this. And again, 3 runs or less is the magic number that we can give up by still feeling comfortable that we can win. But the Mariners, sometimes we start fast, sometimes we start slow, sometimes it's 3-4 homers in a game, sometimes we have none. And it's just base hit, base hit, base hit. That leads to an RBI, and we score that way. So, that's what makes this team so interesting to watch in 2025. You never really know what to expect, but at any given moment, there could be an explosion, where you get 1 to 4 runs in any point of the game. And again, it's nice that we are a good ball club this season. And again, pitching could be a little bit better, but obviously turning it around from being one of the worst hitting teams and the number 1 strikeout team to one of the best hitting teams in baseball. You always feel you're never out of the game. Even when you're down 5 runs, it kind of feels like we've taken on the mantra of like the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Padres, where it's like if you get down, it's not a big deal. But in years past, if we got down 5-0, we were like, oh, this game's fucking over. So it's kind of nice to know that even when we get down, as long as we have innings to play, we have a chance. Pitch fouled off, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out and runner at first, bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 Chicago. Pitch is low and out the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Lawrence to Vargas. Pollen season. I was allergic to a lot of pollen and certain things, back in the day when I was younger, but it doesn't really affect me that much anymore unless there's like a lot of it. If it's like a real heavy day, then the allergies will come out where I don't really sneeze. My eyes just water, but other than that, I think we've only really had 1 or 2 days like that in 2025, in springtime here so far, where I woke up early in the morning to walk, Paisley, and I could barely open my eyes, and, it wasn't really like wiping the crust out of my eyes, just my eyes were watering, but really haven't seen that since, thankfully. Pitch fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Miguel Vargas. Casey Lawrence, our reliever, turned starter. Since obviously the Bryce Miller injury, they didn't want to move anyone a day too soon or a day too late in the rotation. That's why we're having a guy that normally doesn't start pitch, and he's doing okay. I mean, it's not like we're down 5-0 right now, but pitch fouled off. 3 consecutive pitches fouled off by Miguel Vargas. Change up, and a slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Casey Lawrence on the mound. Miguel Vargas in the box. Jacob in the building. What's good? Gabriel in the building. What's good? Two-two pitch in play, and Vargas singles to center. Palacios to second. Come on now, come on, Casey. Nice hit by Miguel Vargas, the former Dodger. And their best player now is up next, center fielder Luis Robert Jr. We got to make sure that he doesn't give up a big 3-run jack, because if we get down 4-0 here, it's going to be real tough to come back, even though we know the bats can come alive at any given time. Pitch high and inside with the changeup fouled off. 0-1 count. So we're 4 hours away from each other, not JT? We got quite a few people that live in Oregon and Washington on the channel. I mean, obviously we got people all over, the Midwest, the East Coast, overseas. I was actually looking at the stats last night in play, and there's the double play that we needed. Hell yeah. Luis Robert Jr. right there. Ben Williamson with a great throw to first to Rowdy Tellez, and that definitely saved us right there. Nice job, Big Ben. I mean, normally you don't get double plays that go from third base to first, but normally it's second base with a slow dribble or a throw to first. So an unusual double play, but we'll take it. End of the third inning, and we're down 1-0. Next up for the Mariners, fresh off his grand salami, second of his career last night. 0 for 0 with a base on ball, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 0 for 1, a guy that's due for a homer, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 0 for 1, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Tigard, the Dalles, and Portland. I was born in the Dalles, near Hood River, so I'm very familiar with that particular area. And I never have lived in Tigard, but I've lived close in the past, kind of Tualatin, Tigard area, but it was more considered Tualatin. And then obviously in Portland, I've never lived there, but I'll visit, for food carts and, video games, arcades, and going to an occasional Blazer game or two. Top of the fourth inning, 1-0 White Sox, and hopefully Julio can get us going here. And just to give you an update, if you're just dropping in, bottom of the third inning, Palacios singled to right, and Maidroff scored. 1-0 White Sox. Let's go, Mariners. First pitch to Julio, fouls it off, right down the plate with the sinker, 92 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Let's go, J-Rod. Pitches low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hauser to Julio. Top of the fourth inning, 1-0 Chicago. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. Cutter, 86 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hauser to Julio. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. I don't know where we're at on the likes, but hopefully we're over 20 now. We're going to try to hit 40 or 50 before the game is over. That's the goal. And obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. We're still waiting on our first for the dono train. Alec in the building, what's good? Andrea in the building, what's good? I have quite a few of them. Some, fit a little bit better, with the baseball than others, but I got like almost 20 here, but I can start playing some of the other ones. I'll kind of go through them. And Julio grounds out to the pitcher. 1 away. But let's start it. Let's go to the I'll go to the ones that normally I don't play during the stream, just to kind of give you an idea. Some, again, obviously it's kind of just more like laid back. He does really any type of genre. He can do rap, he can do R&B, he can do EDM, he can do, a little bit of everything. It kind of just depends on his vibe and his mood, but everything is original. And I just picked like the 7 tracks that I felt that fit baseball the best. But after we get a little bit of this one, I'll go through the other. Maybe how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I can have you guys take a little sample of that. So top of the 4th inning, 1-0 Chicago. Big dumper in the box. 1-2 pitch, and that one's fouled off with a sinker, 94 miles an hour by Hauser. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Top of the 4th, 1-0 Chicago. I appreciate that. Yeah. Plus, there's others, through his SoundCloud. Obviously the files sometimes are like too big, but there's even stuff that me and him have worked on together, years back, where we used to kind of party together and try to come up with, ideas, to be able to try to make something that could be like radio worthy. Really brilliant individual and whatnot. I would just kind of give my, little critiques on what we need to add, like a bell here or like a snap here. And, we would kind of go through all the different sound, options through all the different beat pads and programs and, kind of talk it over. And then we would find something that would work. And, he's so good that, he could end up making something like radio worthy within 30 minutes to an hour. In play. And there we go. Big dumper, doubles to right. Finally, we get something going here for the Seattle Mariners. Let's go, baby. Nice job by Cal. We need a little bit more of that, but we'll take a double from Cal Raleigh on a 2-2 pitch. Crushes that one into right. Nice job, Cal. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. First pitch to Randy is high and away with a cutter. 1-0 count. Nick in the building. What's good? Yeah. And again, he started, playing like piano, and he's always had like a musical ear and whatnot, but he started playing really early, like 4 or 5 years old. And, I told him if he just put in the effort, and the passion, because out of our friend group, I always knew it was going to be me and him. Like, we had a lot of really smart, bright people, that did phone sales, and it's a very cutthroat business. But I always knew, at some point or another, if we ever got out of that profession, that we would be able to make something out of ourselves, or like organically, and just me and him. And, it's taken him a little bit longer to kind of get to a point, but now he's kind of diving in, all in. And, I'm glad to see him, work, hard on his passion, because again, it's like, I can't make it happen for you. You got to be able to do it on your own, and you're going to have to want it. So, but anytime he ends up coming out with anything new, I always give him, positive feedback, whether it's good or bad, or, I'm always supporting him through and through. It's always cool to be able to support your friends, and family with dreams and goals. Not a lot of people have dreams and goals. And, I told him, you got to be happy with what you're doing, and sometimes not, leaning on what other people say. You have to be able to just do it on your own. And Randy Arozarena flies out to center. Cal tags up and goes to third, 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 first baseman Rowdy Tellez. And Rowdy, first pitch, popped up to second, and that is it. Oh, that's brutal. Leaving Cal stranded at third. Low-scoring affair here after an hour-and-a-half rain delay, and maybe that's a part of why things have been pretty tough. Here for both teams, having to sit there and wait, not knowing if we're going to play or not. I still think that we're going to have a nice, inning, whenever that may be, until they bring in their bullpen, and we'll see how the game opens up for the Mariners or the White Sox when starters go out. But so far, both pitchers have done a pretty fucking good job with all things considered. You got one guy, who is a bullpen pitcher who never starts, and this is his first start, but he had a 3-1 record, 1.84 ERA, and he's pitching well. And then the other guy is a guy that hasn't even played in 2025. He was a free agent, just recently signed with a 1-year deal, a little over $1 million to come in and play today. And he's playing like he's pitched all season. So I'm a little shocked on how good Adrian has looked, but it is what it is. I mean, there's certain guys that are sitting there waiting for a call up, and it shows you that even against a hot hitting team like the Mariners, a guy that's been, pretty much being ready for his call and never got it until, yesterday or early this morning, but he's looking pretty sharp as well. All right, let's go through some of these other tracks that normally I have not played yet. So we'll start off. So the tracks originally are Heaven, Silo, Better Off, Love, Sizzle, With You, Echo is this one, and then we're going to go into some of these other ones that normally I don't play on the stream. So, or if I do, it's like kind of once in a while. But I'll sprinkle in we'll go through all the others that I have in here. So. But he's an extremely talented individual, and again, it's just a matter of time, before he gets, linked up with like a rapper, a singer, even if it's someone locally from Oregon or Washington to kind of get him going, whether it be, in a commercial or a movie or a TV show. Again, he's very, very talented, and he's now starting to kind of incorporate like visuals, with the beats. So that way it's not just, his stuff on SoundCloud. You have to be a little bit more creative, with different artwork, with your beats, or with, movable video, with the beats. So that way people can see the visuals and the audio. And, I told them, years back, if you did a YouTube channel a long time ago and you would have grinded it out like myself, and showed people how you make the beats as Piero lines out to left, one away, and kind of went through his creative process. And, and again, it's just one of those things that maybe he didn't fully believe in himself, or had other things going on, but he definitely has cut back on partying, and we both have that in common. We both have cut back on those things, cut out the bad people in our life that are distractions, exercise like madmen. And I know he's training for like a marathon also on top of that as well. And, for this guy, to say that he would be running a marathon like 5-10 years ago, we would have laughed. There'd have been just like, no fucking way, because we were both out of shape, and it's, it just would have been a dream that probably would have never happened. And then now both of us have lost, 80, 90, 100 pounds. And I feel that this is the best version of him, and I'm really proud of him. Lawrence on the mound, and Vaughn in the box, and Vaughn on the 0-1 pitch flies out to left to Randy Arozarena, 2 away. Next up, second baseman Lennon Sosa. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's really good on like hip hop and rap beats that you would think that would be like as Sosa singles to center right in front of Randy Arozarena, or Julio Rodriguez, excuse me. But again, some stuff will be mellow, and other stuff will be a little bit more upbeat, and then other stuff will be like hypey, like E40 and that kind of vibe and whatnot. So, as he continues to, give me more options to be able to showcase, his talents, and also to be able to use on stream instead of just the generic, stuff that came with the program that I used in the past. I definitely will support him, and again, I can't wait to see what comes out next for him as well. This one is one of the ones that I would play occasionally, but not often. Not one of the main 7 in the rotation. This one's called Amnesty. And then we're going to go to the next one now. You guys got a little sample of this. Now this one next is called Retrograde. First pitch from Lawrence to Elko, takes a strike swinging in zone, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike from Lawrence to Elko. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking with a slider right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Lawrence on the mound, Elko in the box. Bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Chicago. Well, it's still early in the game. You know, it's the 4th inning, so once starters go out, we'll see how it all plays out. Pitches inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. You know, plus you have to know all of the inside information. Like our pitcher is a relief pitcher that's starting, so again, not a guy that normally starts as a starting pitcher. So anytime that happens, you don't really know what you're going to get. He does have a low ERA, and we're only down a run. You're acting like we're down 10 runs right now. And Elko strikes out swinging. There we go. Let's go to the top of the 5th inning, and let's see if we can tie this game up or take the lead. Let's see who's up next for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 0-for-1 with a K, right fielder Leody Taveras. Batting second, 0-for-1 with a K, second baseman Dylan Moore. And batting third, 0-for-1, third baseman Ben Williamson. Let's go Mariners. All right, let's go to the next one here. Next one's called Chopped Eye. But usually when he comes up with his creative process, he's got like kind of an artist, that maybe he has in mind, and he listens to like all kinds of music. So it's not just, like the popular guys like J. Cole or Drake or Kendrick Lamar. Like, he knows like every fucking underground artist, and he likes kind of the original artists, like myself too. Like, I like listening to people like Tyler, the Creator, or Outkast, people that are completely different than anybody else. They kind of have their own style and swagger and aura. And so, each beat is not going to, be the same. Some are going to be kind of similar and whatnot, like based off vibe and whatnot. But usually that's his process. He'll come up with different sounds and, a different kind of conception of making a beat, from beginning to end. But normally there's someone that he's got like in mind, typically when he does it. So go to the top of the 5th inning, 1-0 White Sox. And if you're just tuning in to the broadcast, Palacios singled to right and Maidroff scored in the bottom of the 3rd. And we've had 6 hits for the White Sox, only 2 for the Mariners, which is a little odd, but we still got half of the game to go, so I know we can come back. First pitch to Leody Taveras. With the ball there on a curve, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch in play, and Taveras grounds out. Taveras grounds out to first, 1 away. Next up, second baseman Dylan Moore. Go to the next one here. Next one's called Don't Lie. First pitch from Hauser to Demo. First pitch is low and away with the sinker, 1-0 count. Yeah, but some of the stuff, like the old stuff that we worked on, if I can get a chance to share that, I think you'd be. Some of the stuff is like on a whole nother level than some of the stuff that we even have access to here. Pitch is low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Hauser to Demo. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're at 28, 2 more to get to 30. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. And Demo with the walk, we'll take that. Demo to first. Next up, third baseman Ben Williamson. And hopefully Ben can get us going here. Bring that electricity, Big Ben, just like you do defensively at third. We need that bat to light up. All right, we'll go to the next one now. Duda. First pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. 0-1 count from Hauser to Williamson. 0-1 pitch. Takes another strike looking in the zone right down the middle. Behind the count now 0-2 from Hauser to Williamson. Come on, Big Ben. O2 pitch, high and away, fouled off, 95 miles an hour from Hauser. Still behind in the count, 0-2 to Ben Williamson. And down goes Big Ben. Man, it's been rough here in these first, 5 innings here for the Mariners. Hopefully it'll get better once the starters go out. Didn't really know what to expect, if we were going to get a pitcher's duel or if it was going to be a very high-scoring affair, based off the pitchers kind of, being new to this particular role for each of them. For obviously one, it's his first game of the year for the White Sox and Adrian Hauser. And then for Casey Legomina, it's his first start, as a starter, normally a bullpen guy, but both pitchers have done good. And I don't know if maybe, the hitters for both teams are, just kind of going through the motions because of the rain delay, but hopefully it'll open up here in these last 3 to 4 innings if we end up going to extras or not. All right, let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 5th for the White Sox. Next up for the White Sox, 2 for 2 with a run, shortstop Chase Meidroth. Batting second, 0 for 1, base on ball and a K, left fielder Josh Rojas. And batting third, 1 for 2 with an RBI, right fielder Joshua Palacios. And let's go to the next one. This is called a Drizzle. And he plays guitar too. So some of the stuff that you'll hear, it's actually him, with the guitar, going through kind of a riff, and then, going into the sound machines and the beat pads and incorporating different things. So, he plays instruments and he does the beats. Doesn't sing or rap. I mean, we used to kind of freestyle and play around, back in the day and whatnot, with me and him and our friend Nick and whatnot. But, mostly, just coming up with the instruments and then the, making of the beats and whatnot. So go to the bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 White Sox. But I always told him, you always got to look outside the box, because I think back in the day he was just trying to, do it to like maybe get picked up, by like a rapper, and if some kind of rapper ended up paying him X amount of money for the beat, that could kind of get him going. But now in this day and age with the digital stuff that's out there, you can have your beats or your music be incorporated in many ways: commercials, movies, TV, a number of different things, that you can get your stuff used or purchased from. So in play, and Meidroth grounds out to third, throw to first, one away. Down goes Chase. Next up is Hollywood Josh Rojas. Bottom of the fifth, 1-0 Chicago. First pitch from Lawrence to Rojas, about a foot off the plate, 2 foot off the plate, 3 foot off the plate. Change up, 82 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, high and away with a curveball, 77 miles an hour by Casey Lawrence. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 1-0 Chicago lead. You like this drizzle one? I can always move it into the rotation. And what was the other one that you guys liked? You remember? Was it Chopped Eye or Don't Lie? Was it like, I know there was another one that you guys commented on. Was it which one? One sec here. And Rojas lines out to right, 2 away. But what was the other one? I'm going to go through them again, and then you can let me know. But there was another one that I just played a couple ago. This is the drizzle. This is Amnesty. This is Retrograde. First pitch, low and away, fouled off. This one, Chopped Eye. And then this one is Don't Lie. So I think it was like either Chopped Eye or Don't Lie with one of these ones that I think you guys were commenting on. But when I go through them again, you can let me know. Next one up here will be called Others. First pitch from Lawrence to Palacios, low and away with the changeup, 0-1 count.
And since there are in the craft there must be some sort of factory and an entire civilization somewhere. And if in fact that is true, and it apparently is, then there must be
YouTube Alejandro. So if you're watching something on like ESPN or MLB, you may want to stretch out the screen a little bit. So I know like on ESPN.com, if the screen is too small, it'll only show like one team. But if you stretch it out, then you can actually see both, and it's a little bit. So you may want to play around with the actual size of the screen that you're looking at, either minimize it or stretch it out, make it bigger, and then that should help you out, on those type of issues, either through ESPN.com watching the game or MLB. Bottom of the fifth inning, 1-0 White Sox. Casey Lawrence on the mound. Joshua Palacios in the box. Now behind in the count, 0-2. And in play, and Palacios doubles to left. All right, next one is called Walking. Miguel Vargas next up. 1 for 2 here in the bottom of the fifth with 2 outs. And we're getting kind of close to the end, but again, I think there's like 2 out of the ones that I normally don't play that often that we can add. I don't know the other one. We'll have to figure that out. And Vargas flies out to center to Julio, and that's the end of the fifth inning. I'm glad that they didn't add anything on in that particular inning, but now the Mariners, we got to get going now. We got the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, and the 9th. And even if we end up winning this game only 2-1, I mean, we'll take it. Next up, shortstop, 1-for-1 with a base on ball, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, DHing, 0-for-2, Jorge Polanco. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a base on ball, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. 1-0, Chicago. Let's go Mariners. Appreciate that. We finally got our first dono on the dono train. $10 holla. Thank you so much. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Let's get the moose up. I got you. Appreciate you. We're at 10:90 to go. Let's go, baby. Queued it up at the right time. Could have done it earlier.
One, two.
Oh, 1 pitch. Another strike looking to J.P. Crawford here in the top of the 6th. 0-2 count from Hauser to J.P. All right, we got 2 more to go. We got Water and then Wouldn't Care. And once we end up going through, them another time around, we'll try to figure out what that other one that you guys want me to add. I think it's Chopped Eye or Don't Lie. It's either one of those two. Either that Andrea and Reflect commented on, but I don't know which one it was. 1-2 pitch. Inside at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hauser to JP. Yeah, Durangelo is balling out for sure. Great to be able to see his progression, as an up-and-coming pitcher. And they don't have him, progressing to be a bullpen guy. They have him, building to be a starter, to be like the 5th guy in the rotation at whenever he is ready down the road. So pitch is low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Hauser to JP. In play on the 3-2 pitch, and JP flies out to right, 1 away. Next up, DHing for the Seattle Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Come on, Polo. Someone needs to give us that lift and that energy and that spark. Let's go. Great catch by Palacios there in right field for JP, robbing him there. Next up is Jorge Polanco. First pitch, takes a strike looking on the line. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away with a sinker, 95 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. 1-1 pitch, low and away. And that one is fouled off by Polo. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hauser to Polanco. All right, we got one last one here called Wouldn't Care. And then that will be all of the ones that I have. So I got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, different ones that he was working on. And then obviously some of the old stuff is incredible too. So if I get access to that, then you'll be able to hear some of the real slappers. One-two pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball, strikes, nobody on and 1 out. Hauser on the mound, wheeling and dealing. Polo in the box. Come on, Polo. We need you, baby. In play. And Polo grounds out to first. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. First pitch is low and away with the sinker, 1-0 count. Come on, baby. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hauser to Julio. All right, we're back at the top of the order now of the music. Let's go, Julio. Come on, baby. Top of the 6th inning, 1-0 Chicago. Hour and a half rain delay. Definitely affected, I think, the hitters on both teams, but it didn't affect the pitchers. And it's been definitely a pitcher's duel up to this point. White Sox have been able to get 7 hits on the Mariners, but they've only been able to cash in for a run. So we have to be thankful that we're not down 3-0 right now or worse. Mariners only got 2 hits so far all day. And JP with 1 of those hits, as well as Cal with the double, JP with the single, but we're waiting for someone else. And Julio safe at first with a throwing error by Vargas. There we go. It pays to run hard to first base. Nice job, Julio. My guy, run, baby. There we go. Nice job running hard, Julio. We need that. Next up is big dumper Cal Raleigh. First pitch, high and away. Fouled off by big dumper, 0-1 count. Hauser wheeling and dealing here for the White Sox. Oh, 0-1 pitch, about 5 feet off the plate. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first, Julio, with 2 outs. Come on, baby. Let's go, Cal. We need you, baby. Trident's up. Top of the 6th inning, runner at first with 2 outs. And this would be a great time for Big Dumper to use that torpedo bat and go yard on Hauser. Let's go. Need to grab my Griffey bobble. Maybe that's why we haven't scored any runs yet. And Julio picked off. Are you fucking kidding me? Brutal. Ay. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and we're down 1-0. I need to get the Griffey bobble. We're getting discombobulated here. All right, baby. This is normally always a thing, but come on, J-Rod. Got to be better. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 6th for the Chicago White Sox. You definitely don't want to lose this game 1-0. That big inning is coming for us. I can feel it. Next up, center fielder Luis Robert Jr. in the 5-hole, 0 for 2 with a K. Batting second, 0 for 2, catching today, Edgar Cuero. And batting third, 0 for 2, DHing in the 7-hole, Andrew Vaughn. Let's go Mariners. And then at some point, we're going to be replacing Legomina with someone, which will be, Casey Lawrence is coming in. So I don't know how I feel about that. But we'll see. Casey Legomina, Casey Lawrence. Obviously, with those 2 guys, after Casey Legomina and Casey Lawrence, we'll see where we're going after that. Very curious to see what we do, for the rest of the game. Well, energy is off because of the rain delay, 100%. So they had Legomina in there for an inning, and then Lawrence in there for 4. And then I guess we'll see what happens from one Casey to the next, and then what we do after that. So, but you got to think with both Caseys, hasn't been too crazy yet. And last time we saw Lawrence, again with him, he came in for Logan Gilbert and got absolutely obliterated. So, both Caseys have done pretty well up to this point. And right there in the dirt, 1 away. Luis Robert Jr. giving us a scare. Next up, catcher Edgar Cueto. First pitch takes a strike looking outside of the zone, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off with the curve. Behind in the count now, 0-2. All right, take care, brother. Appreciate you. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 White Sox. It was crazy, too, because I was under the impression that we had Legomina out there, but obviously going through the music and, going through the motions. And then, Legomina pitched in that first inning, Lawrence in the last 4, and then we'll figure out what we do after that. But I was under the impression that Legomina was in there a little bit longer. In play, and Cueto lines out to left, 2 away. But, regardless of what Casey is on the mound for the Mariners, it's not normally a starter. These are bullpen guys, and both of them did pretty good job. I mean, respectively speaking, we're only down a run. But again, the White Sox aren't that great of a team either. Down goes Luis Robert Jr. Down goes Edgar Cueto. Next up, Andrew Vaughn. First pitch from Lawrence to Vaughn on the line, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. And in play, and Vaughn lines out to the shortstop, and that is the end of the 6th inning. Let's go to the top of the 7th, and this is usually where the Mariners shine, even when things are a little shaky, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. But again, the aura and the vibe is a little off because the game was supposed to start at 4:40 Pacific, and then they had a rain delay of an hour and a half. And if anyone has ever played sports or watched, baseball or football, when you have an hour or 2 of a delay, it definitely affects the players, mentally, preparation, getting into the groove and going through your same repetitions day in and day out. Things get a little off. And obviously the pitching has been good from both teams, but hitting has been off for at least the Mariners. The White Sox have had 7 hits, but we've been able to play good defense. Mariners only have 2 hits, a single by JP and a double by Cal, but we need the bats to open up now. Can't lose 1-0 to the White Sox. Next up, 0 for 2, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Batting second, first baseman 0 for 2, Rowdy Tellez. Let's go, Rowdy. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder Leody Taveras. Let's go, Leody. We need this, baby. Let's get it. Top of the 7th inning, 1-0 White Sox. Let's go, baby. No, again, you can be a White Sox fan and, root for the Mariners in your bet. There's no problem with that. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to see, names from back in the day that Dan Wilson had a relationship with, like Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson and Ichiro and other guys, throughout the organization, that are coming through. And then obviously with Seitzer and Edgar helping out with the hitting techniques, it really has worked. And, again, if you would have told me we would be the worst hitting team and we would end up being a top 5 hitting team the next year, I would say you're lying. There'd be no way. But, they've been able to do it. And hopefully we'll be able to continue to get better and better as the season goes on. As the warmer weather comes about, guys that typically start slow like Julio in March and April has had a fantastic May. And depending on what he does in June and July, Julio might end up making himself into maybe a reserve in the All-Star game. I mean, right now, Dan Wilson should be the manager of the American League. And then there's 3 guys that should be in the All-Star game: Brian Wu, Cal Raleigh, and Andres Munoz. And that's not debatable. And then obviously if Julio plays well from here to the All-Star voting period, maybe he'll be a reserve or a backup. But that just depends if Julio keeps being Julio. But a good opportunity for 3 or 4 Mariners, and obviously getting our manager to be the manager of the American League, which would be awesome. Because normally when we end up having a player or 2 and then you have an Astro or a Ranger manager, they don't play our guys. They have like some bullshit against us, like out of spite. They don't play our guys. And, what's the point of having guys come to the All-Star game if they can't even get in, Top of the 7th, 1-0 White Sox. 2 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Pitch is low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper. But also, it's not just Dan Wilson. I mean, if we're going to be talking about Dan, they also have to give credit to Edgar Martinez and Seitzer as well. And Cal flies out to center, 1 away. Because if Dan Wilson didn't have Edgar or Seitzer helping out with the bats, we wouldn't even be talking about Dan Wilson today, and we probably wouldn't have an above 500 record. We probably would be like in 3rd place, in the middle of the division, probably behind, the Astros and the A's, and we'd be in the middle, fighting against the Rangers or something of that nature. So I know we wouldn't be as bad as the Angels, but, we'd be somewhere in the middle probably. First pitch from Iser to Randy Arozarena. And it's low and at the knees with the changeup, 1-0 count. Come on, Randy. Let's go, Mariner Moose. We need a rally. Pitch is high and away with the 4-seam fastball by Isert. 2-0 count to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Mariner Moose. We need all the luck we can get. Let's go. Top of the 7th. We're down by a run. Let's go. Marty's busting out the ancient chants. All that Soto mojo. We need it. Pitches away. High and away with a 4-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour by Isert to Randy. 3 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. And if Randy's patient here, this should be a walk. Again, we just have to find ways to get guys on base, And we haven't really bunted at all, which would be good if we had a guy like Leo Rivas in, or if he comes in to pinch hit. Sometimes getting a bunt down starts a rally. Pitch is fouled off with a 4-seam fastball in the zone. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out in the top of the 7th. 1-0 Chicago. And Arozarena strikes out swinging. Come on, Randy, take the fucking walk. We could have used you there. Ay. And then Julio getting caught on the base paths. I mean, it's been one of those days, Next up, first baseman Rowdy Tellez, but with 1 swing, he can tie this game up and give us that momentum and that Uncle Mo that we need. Come on, Rowdy. Bring that electricity. Bye-bye. Come on, baby. All the good luck charms need to come out. Next up is Donovan Solano. Ay. Bringing in Solano for Rowdy Tellez because it's a left-handed pitcher. No bueno. It's one thing when we substitute Polo and we bring in Mitch Garver. That's worked like 80% of the time. It seems like 8 times out of 10 or 7 times out of 10 when they've made that substitution, when they switch from a right-handed pitcher to a left and they go away from Polo and bring in Garver. Garver's been pretty clutch. He's been able to get hits and RBIs and help us win games. But Donovan Solano, that's another story. Now, with Solano, the best thing that you can do is not swing. And hopefully they hit you and you don't get hurt and you go to first or you take a walk. But I wouldn't be expecting a whole lot out of Donovan Solano. Pitches outside, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Isert to Solano. And down goes Donovan Solano. Guy's fucking worthless. Batting 131, no homers, 1 ribby. Just cut the motherfucker. I mean, we can go and get Tyler Locklear from AAA. I mean, we got a few guys there, like Harry Ford, who could get the call up at some time. Colt Emerson, another guy. Tyler Locklear. It's like we got a few guys in AAA that we could, call up at some point. There's at least 3 that are in the starting lineup. That I feel that could give you better production than you get from guys like Donovan Solano. But I think the reason that Solano is still on the team is because we paid him, good money. And he was the first free agent that we signed, and then we signed Miles Mastroboni. But let's be honest, both of those guys have been a failure for us this year. Miles has been better than Solano, but I still would rather have Leo Rivas or like Dylan Moore or someone else play, for Miles Mastroboni. He's just kind of, average, below average. Solano's fucking terrible. But again, we had Garver and Polo last year, and those guys were terrible, and they turned it around. Polo obviously has cooled off a little bit lately, but, he was batting 330 to 450, pretty consistently throughout the year. So Polo really, flashed and really shined for us. And then Garver, hasn't really been a good home run hitter, and he's been our backup catcher. But again, it seems like he's been coming up clutch, more times than not, when he gets that late, pinch hit opportunity, but still not a good player. Garver's better than Solano, but not by much. But I guess, you got to play some of these guys, I guess. But I honestly feel if you went Tyler Locklear from the Tacoma Rainiers, we saw a preview of him last year, and he kind of reminds me of Ty France. He's built the same kind of way, and he's just a younger version of Ty France. And I think most Mariner fans would enjoy Tyler Locklear over Donovan Solano. And it's not like Locklear would start, but he would be a better backup at first base to Rowdy Tellez. Just saying. All right, let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 7th for the White Sox. Next up for Chicago, second baseman, 2 for 2, Lenyn Sosa. Batting second, first baseman, Timothy Elko. And batting third, shortstop, Chase Meidroff. Let's go Mariners. Oh, Carlos Vargas coming in. Oh, God. Seven hits for the White Sox with 1 error, 1-0 lead. We only have 2 hits, no errors. And again, I don't really trust Vargas whatsoever. He's not like Legomina or Gabe Spire or Andres Munoz or Matt Brash, but we'll see. Vargas just all over the place. Like at any given moment, you never know if a guy's going to get hit, but not really a fan of Carlos Vargas personally. Too wild for me. 18 Ks to 8 walks, ERA of 3.68. But honestly, when you watch him pitch, he kind of makes you feel he's got an ERA of 5 to 7. He's just all over the place. Sometimes he ends up getting himself out of a jam, by a good defensive play, by the others. But not a trustworthy guy in the pen whatsoever. But he does get lucky once in a while. And there you go. 1-2 pitch, and Sosa strikes out swinging. 1 away. Next up, first baseman, 0 for 2 with a K, Timothy Elko. First pitch from Vargas to Elko. High and inside with the sinker. 97 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Come on, Mariners. And we've gained quite a few subs, which is always great to see. How many have we gained today? We gained 5. Great. Only 93 subs now to 20,900. 193 to get to 21,000. Let's go. Pitch fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Vargas to Elko. Yeah, he definitely will be in the running for it, for sure. And Elko strikes out swinging. 2 away. This is the good Vargas, which I didn't know if we were going to get, but we're getting it so far. Let's see if he can get out one of the hottest hitters today for the White Sox. Shortstop Chase Mydroff. And he's already 2 for 3 with a run, and I had a feeling that he was going to do pretty well. I put him on the thumb, and of course he gets 2 hits, but hopefully that'll be it. And he goes 2 for 4, not 3 for 4. First pitch from Vargas to Mydroff. In the zone, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Bottom of the 7th, 1-0 Chicago. But these are the type of games that you have to win. You know, again, it hasn't been pretty. You know, again, pitchers have done a good job in this game, but I feel like the hitters got out of their rhythm because we had that hour-and-a-half rain delay. And again, anyone that has had a delay in sports, it fucks with your whole routine. And I feel like it definitely has affected the Mariners more than the White Sox in this game. And we got Logan Evans tomorrow early. I feel confident that we can win that game tomorrow. Logan has been amazing for us. You know, 2 good starts at home, 1 rough start on the road, and then a really good start on the road at his last outing. So I feel that we're going to be able to get the dub tomorrow, and I'm going to be live early at 11 o'clock Pacific, which I know is super early. It's going to be Evans versus Smith. Evans is 2-1 with a 2.57 ERA. Smith is 1-3 with a 2.05 ERA. In play, and Mydroff grounds out to second, and that is the end of the 7th inning, excuse me. All right, let's go to the top of the 8th. We got 2 innings to go to try to get at least 1 run to tie, 2 to win. We can do it. Next up for the Mariners, here in the top of the 8th, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder Leody Taveras. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Second baseman Dylan Moore. Maybe we should pinch hit Leo Rivas here. That's what I would do, and have him bunt. And then batting third, 0 for 2, third baseman Ben Williamson. And he was the one that got hits to get the rally started in the 3rd inning and late in the game yesterday. Maybe Big Ben can be a part of that as well. But again, if you drop down the bunt, and again, everyone has been, swinging freely, throughout, 7 innings, and it hasn't worked. And again, anytime you end up having an offense that's been a little stagnant and cold, and you want to heat it up a little bit, drop the bunt down. That could really start a rally. And I know it's kind of one of those things that you don't really see teams do anymore. But again, you have to think outside the box if you want to win games. And hopefully Taveras, Demo, Williamson, unless Demo gets replaced by Leo Rivas, somebody drop the fucking bunt down. It could end up leading to us winning this game. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. I don't know where we're at on the numbers. I'm going to check here real quick. But I know we're at 10 on the dono train, 90 to go to hit the goal. Let's see where we're at right now. We're at 43. So our goal on every stream is to get 50 to 60 likes if we have the volume. So we only need 7 more to get to the goal. So we're at 43. So we have like 60 in the room. So if we can just get 7 out of 17 people to smash that like button, then we'll be at the goal at 50. Do your boy a solid, baby. Next up is Leody Taveras. Let's bring that electricity, baby. Yeah, but that was just casual bandwagon and fair weather fans, not realizing that the Tigers and Giants are 2 of the best teams in baseball, And again, we struggled with the Tigers and we got swept by the Giants on the road when Robles ran into the wall and got hurt, right? But now looking back, to start off the year like 3-7, and then now we're in first place with a 27-19 record. Again, if we would have started off the year playing the Angels and the Marlins, yeah, we could have started off 8-0, or 6-0, but that doesn't mean that we're a good team. And I'm actually glad that we had to, face really good teams early to kind of let us know, hey, we got a long ways to go, and we need to make sure that we're together as a family here. And, sometimes it's a rude awakening, when you have expectations of playoffs and whatnot and you start slow. But, I think it worked out for the best for us. 3-0 pitch. Leody Taveras takes a strike looking in the zone, low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Wilson to Taveras. Let's go. But again, I've been watching this team for 40 years. So even though I look young, and again, I started watching around the mid 80s. And again, we haven't really had too many good teams, if we're really being honest, in 40 plus years of existence, right? Like we were good in 95 with a 95 slide with Griffey, 97 in his, kind of MVP year, 2001 Ichiro's rookie year, 2022 when Cal hit the homer against the Athletics to get us in the playoffs for the first time in 20 plus years, and then this year. And Leody, go, go, go. There we go. Leody Taveras doubles to center, and this is where we're going to score a 1-run, 2-run, 3-run. I don't know how many, but we're going to get it here, baby. Nice job by Leody in between the gap of the center fielder and the right fielder. Next up, second baseman Dylan Moore, unless they have Leo Rivas come in, but I assume they'll go with Demo. Let's go, baby. Oh, it's Master Boney they're bringing in. Why bring in Master Boney? Bring in Rivas. Damn it. Leo can actually drop a bunt down and get the runner to third. Master Boney will probably strike out. Not trying to be a hater, but it's like, come on. It's like bringing in Donovan Solano. Do you really think that something good's going to happen? I mean, I hope it does. I hope I'm wrong, but again, more times than not, Miles Mastrobuoni and Donovan Solano are going to produce the same kind of results. And most of the time that is going to be nothing. But I do like Miles more than Donovan. Miles deserves to be on the team. Donovan Solano does not. So that's the difference. Let's go, baby. And if I'm Miles Mastrobuoni right here, I'm dropping the bunt down. Top of the 8th. Runner at second with no outs. This is the best opportunity the Mariners have had all game. Wilson coming into the matchup. They got Boozer obviously in the pen warming up, and we fucked him up yesterday. 1-0 pitch. Low and at the knees. Four-seam fastball by Wilson. 1-0 count. I mean, if we can get a bunt down, or if Mastrobuoni can get a walk, or if he gets hit by a pitch, that might be the best case scenario. Because if Mastrobuoni's swinging, it's going to lead up to a pop-up, ground out, or a strikeout. More times than not. 1-0 pitch. High and away. Fouls that one off. 93 miles an hour with a four-seam fastball. Come on, Miles. One pitch. Low and away with the sweeper. 2 balls and 1 strike to Miles Mastrobuoni. Come on, baby. Two-one pitch. In the zone, fouled off with the four-seam fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wilson to Mastrobuoni. Come on, baby. Pitches low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wilson to Mastrobuoni. Now, if we could just get Miles not to swing and get a walk here, that would be money. I mean, is it possible that Mastrobuoni gets an RBI? Of course. Is it possible that he gets a single? Of course. But based off his recent track record, I think it might be better if, him just not swinging, and hopefully we get a pitch low and away or inside at the knees. I mean, I don't like getting guys struck out looking, but I feel like strikeout looking is better than strikeout swinging. I mean, they both hurt equally, but when you see a guy swing and miss, swing and miss, swing and miss, like Julio used to do all the time, as well as every other fucking Mariner, it was brutal. In play, and Master Boney flies out to left. Wish he wouldn't have swung there, and maybe we would have been able to get something. One away. And now we got Leo Rivas coming in for Williamson. All right, Leo, drop the bunt down. Let's go, Leo. Top of the 8th, runner at second with 1 out. And Leo can get a single, a double. He can force a walk. He can bunt and get on first base, or if the throw is wild, he can even make a bunt, a double. But we'll see what we get here, and hopefully he'll be very patient in the box, not overly aggressive, and hopefully we can find a way to tie this game up here in the 8th. Let's go, baby. First pitch, 10 feet off the plate from Wilson to Rivas. Four-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One 0 pitch. Takes a strike there. Big swing and a miss in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wilson to Rivas. Yeah. You know what happens when you get people that don't know anything about baseball? Or just haters. I mean, this isn't the same Mariner team from years past where we were batting 180 to 220 and we were the number 1 strikeout team in baseball, where we had a hard time getting above 3 runs. But, every once in a while, you are going to have a low-scoring affair where it might be a pitcher's duel, and you got to grind it out and, see how it goes. I mean, I don't think anybody really likes winning 1-0 or 2-1, but the reality is sometimes that's how baseball games end. Not every game is going to be a 5 to 10 run affair by the Mariners, so... Pitch fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wilson to Rivas. Come on, Leo. I mean, we're going to the playoffs this year. That's a for damn sure. And again, you could probably say right now that we are the second best team in the American League. I'd go Tigers, Mariners, Yankees. Even though the Yankees did win 2 out of 3, the bullpen kind of fucked it up. Gabe Spire and Vargas giving up homers to Goldschmidt and Aaron Judge in that last game in the set, the rubber match. We should have won that game. But, I think if you're looking at the American League, Tigers, Mariners, Yankees, those are the big dogs. In play on the 2-2 pitch, and he got hit. There we go. I don't want him to get hurt, but there we go. Find a way to get on base even if you get hit by a pitch. Nice job, Leo. Next up, a guy that can open up the game for us 100%. You know who it is. It's the Crawdaddy, shortstop J.P. Crawford. 1 for 2 with a base on ball. Let's go, J.P. But on the National League side, I mean, gosh, you got so many good teams over there. You got the Mets, you got the Phillies, you got the Dodgers, you got the Giants, you got the Padres, you got the Cubs. Cardinals have been hot as of late, but, we'll see how it goes. But the National League is by far the superior league. American League has got the Tigers, the Mariners, and the Yankees, and there'll be a few other teams that kind of go up and down, but it's not the same as what the Mets are doing, what the Phillies are doing, what the Cubs are doing, on top of, what you got with the, NL West with the Dodgers, Padres, and Giants. There's quite a few more teams in that particular, league that are better, but again, the Twins were hot, obviously had a nice little, 10 plus game win streak that ended just a few days ago, but we'll have to see what kind of consistency Minnesota has throughout the year. But one thing is for sure, Tigers, they're going to win the division. Mariners should win the division. Yankees should win the division, but who else is going to join those 3 teams in the American League? We'll find out. They're going to make a pitching change now, and they're going to bring in Boozer, and I know JP can fuck him up. Let's go. Top of the 8th, runners at first and second with 1 out, 1-0 White Sox lead. And if you are just tuning in to the game, we had an hour and a half rain delay. And again, we had a bullpen pitcher, 2 bullpen pitchers that pitched pretty much the whole game because we didn't want to fuck up our daily rotation. Palacios singled the right in the bottom of the third, and Meidroth scored 1-0 White Sox. So the White Sox have had 1 run, 7 hits, 1 error. Mariners have only had 3 hits all day. So it kind of feels like kind of a rare occurrence, where the Mariners, are shut out at this point, but we still got 2 innings to go. And if you watch Seattle play, in any given moment, they can score 1 to 5 runs, and they can have that explosion. And we might get it here with JP. So. Let's go, baby. If you can handle that for me, Captain, I'd appreciate it. 2 more likes to 50. Let's get there. We've got plenty of people in the room, almost 100. So, and we're at 10 on the Dono train, 90 to go. Top of the 8th, runners at first and second with 1 out. Boozer coming in where we fucked him up yesterday. Good old Cam. First pitch inside, high and tight to JP. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Come on, JP. 1-0 pitch, high and inside again, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour this time around, 2-0 count. This looks like it could lead to a walk. And maybe if we just don't swing, we might be able to just do walk in if we can walk the next couple batters, because he doesn't got it. He was terrible yesterday, Boozer, and terrible again, high and inside, around the same location, 3-0 count. And probably next pitch will be a strike in the zone. JP won't swing, and then the next pitch will be a walk. Unless this ends up being a walk with 4 straight shitty pitches. And it is. There we go. JP with a 4-pitch walk. Normally you'll get a strike at some point, but when you're really off, then you throw 4 straight balls. And luckily that's what we got. I love it. JP didn't even have to swing. Now we got bases loaded with 1 out. But again, hopefully it's not Donovan Solano for Jorge Polanco, which it was earlier. Get someone else in there, damn it. And then we got Garver coming in. Good decision. Garver, much better than like a Solano. Let's go, Mitch. Mitch has been able to step up in these kind of situations more times than not for us. And let's see if Mitch can do it again. I don't expect him to go for a grand salami like, obviously Julio Rodriguez did yesterday. His 2nd career grand salami, right? Which we obviously love when we get that as Mariner fans. But even an RBI single would be great. First pitch, takes a strike looking on the line. 0-1 count from Boozer to Garver. Come on, Mitch. Let's go, baby. Bring that electricity. Even a walk will tie the game up. 0-1 pitch, high and away, fouled off with the 4-seam fastball. Behind in the count now, 0-2. Come on, Mitch. Top of the 8th, bases loaded for the Mariners. This is the best position we've been in all day. White Sox up 1-0. Hour and a half rain delay. Both pitchers, did pretty well. A bullpen guy for us and a guy that just got signed, as a free agent for the White Sox. It's been a pitcher's duel. I don't think anyone expected that. Boozer on the mound. Garver in the box. 0-2 pitch. High and inside. 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 1 out. Come on, Mitch. 1-2 pitch, inside, high and tight, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 1 out. Boozer on the mound, who's very shaky. Garver in the box. Come on, baby. Let's go, Garv. Well, the Mariners, we've come up big in situations like this, but we've also had bases loaded and gotten nothing. Like, we're talking 0 runs with bases loaded, no outs. So I think as Mariner fans, we're, we understand, expect the unexpected. Pitch is low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 pitch. Fuck! And Garver strikes out looking. God damn it. 2 away. Down goes Mitch. Next up, could we get grand salami 2 days in a row? He only has 2 for his career, but here's a big, big moment for our stud, Julio Rodriguez. 0 for 2 with a walk. Come on, J-Rod. Can you do it 2 days in a row? I mean, it's not often that you get yourself in a position late in a game with bases loaded, and you're going against a pitcher that is very shaky. First pitch, fouled off, high and at the hips. 0-1 count from Boozer to Julio. But I mean, if we're really being honest, we'll take anything. Hit by pitch, walk, RBI single, RBI double, RBI triple, grand salami, just something positive to tie the game up or take the lead. 0-1 pitch, fouled off again, inside. Now behind in the count, 0-2. Come on, Julio. Come on, J-Rod. Come on, baby. A double in the gap would be great. Trident's up. Top of the 8th, bases loaded, 2 outs, 0-2 count from Boozer to Julio. Come on, J-Rod. I mean, he's been very hot in May, and he's actually more reliable of a hitter in May than he was in March and April. He's been able to come up in a lot of clutch situations. Certain guys cooled off a little bit, like Polo and JP and Williamson. Julio started to heat up, and he fouls that one off. Now still behind in the count, 0-2 from Boozer to Julio. Come on, J-Rod. Trident's up. Come on, Julio. Damn it. And Julio in play and flies out to center. We leave bases loaded, stranded. Fuck. Brutal. Well, we have one more inning to tie. And again, we probably won't get 2 runs in the 9th, but we could get 1. And then we might have to try to win 2-1 in 10 or 11. As long as our bullpen, doesn't fuck it up here, in the bottom of the 8th and obviously in the 9th. Oh, brutal. That could have been the inning that we ended up winning the game. But again, we at least have one more inning to go. But brutal to leave bases loaded and not get at least 1 to tie at the very least. I still have faith, though. Next up for the White Sox, 0-2 with a base on ball and a K, left fielder, the former Seattle Mariner third baseman, Hollywood Josh Rojas. Batting second, 2-3 with an RBI, right fielder Joshua Palacios. And batting third, the former Dodger, 1-3, third baseman Miguel Vargas. Let's go Mariners. All right, we're at 53 likes, 7 more to get to 60. Let's get there, baby.
Oh my God.
All right, we're bringing in Gabe Spire, and Gabe was lights out at the beginning of the year, and then was a little shaky, and then he's been getting a little bit better as of late, and hopefully we get the good Gabe here. Pat McAfee lookalike needs to come up big, and Gabe can mow him down when he's on. But the question is are we going to get the good Gabe or the bad Gabe? The bad Gabe is going to give up hits, RBIs, and home runs. And then the lights out Gabe is kind of like Matt Brash or Munoz, where he just kind of mows him down. So hopefully we get the good version of Gabe Spire here. The Pat McAfee lookalike. Let's go, Gabe. Bring that electricity and mow him down. Hopefully we can get him out in like 19 pitches here. First pitch, high and away with a four-seam fastball, 0-1 count. As long as Gabe is not throwing right down the middle on the first pitch, trying to get ahead of the count, that's when he's been blasted for home runs and big RBIs. So hopefully he'll be working around the strike zone, trying to paint the corners. Because once he goes right down the middle, we're fucked. Unless he can, kind of throw through the hitter, which he has the ability to do. He can definitely pitch, 90 to 98. So come on, Gabe. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. Good pitch in the corner. Painting those corners, baby. Behind in the count now, 0-2 to Slater. White Sox having a couple pinch hitters themselves. 0-2 pitch, high and away to Austin Slater. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gabe Spire. Let's go. And then Michael A. Taylor coming in for Palacios. And Slater strikes out swinging. See ya. See you later, Austin. One away. Nice job, Gabe. And next up, hitting for Palacios. Michael A. Taylor. Or is that maybe after Palacios?
Oh my God.
All right, Michael A. Taylor coming in for Palacios. First pitch to Michael A. Taylor. Inside, takes a strike swinging. Tries to jam the hitter at the knees and does. 0-1 count. Nice job by Gabe to get that first out on Slater. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Spire to Taylor. One pitch, big swing and a miss on a 4-seam fastball, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spire to Taylor. Come on, Gabe, bow him down, especially if they're going to have pinch hitters, coming in here late like we did. Can't give up a run. If we want to try to be able to tie this game up or win, we have to leave it 1-0. And then we just pray that we can end up getting a home run or back-to-back-to-back hits, tie it up. And now it is possible to get 2 runs in the 9th and win 2-1. But the way that this game has been going, more realistically, it would be, we lose 1-0. That's probably the most realistic. Second would be tying it up 1-1 and winning 2-1 in the 10th or the 11th. Or third option, getting 2 runs in the 9th and winning 2-1. So we'll see how it goes. Pitches high and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Michael A. Taylor. And got him. There we go. Taylor strikes out looking. 2 away. Down goes Michael A. Next up, 1 for 3, the former Dodger third baseman Miguel Vargas. Well, again, we haven't had anybody bunt all game. And again, whenever you're struggling, you need to be able to find different creative ways. Like, we're not being able to get guys on base. Julio was on base and thrown out when he was running around on the base paths. We haven't been able to steal bags and get guys on base like we used to when we were on our 9 consecutive series win streak. Things are a little bit harder now, besides that Padre series where we scored 15 and only gave up 3 runs. So 0-1 pitch, takes a big swing and a miss. Behind in the count now 0-2 to Miguel Vargas, the former Dodger. 1 more strike and Gabe will get us out of this inning, and hopefully we can tie it or win it here in the bottom of the 9th. But any way we do it, as long as we get a win. And got him. There we go. All right, we're down by 1. It's not like we're down by 2 or 3 or 4, but, we've had these type of situations before. Remember when we played the Astros at the early part of the year, we were down 5 runs, 5-0, and we scored 7 in the last 2 innings and won 7-6. And that springboarded us to a sweep of the Rangers, and we won 9 consecutive series. So again, this hasn't been a pretty game. It's been a little bit unusual. 1.5-hour rain delay. We had Casey Legomina and Casey Lawrence, who absolutely sucked ass when he filled in for Logan Gilbert after the injury, and we ended up getting obliterated by the Marlins. Both Casey's actually pitched well, right? Just like Luis Castillo did in the previous matchup. We just need the bats to wake up. And the pitcher on the opposite side for the White Sox just got signed this morning. He's a free agent, hasn't even fucking played in 2025. So, 7 hits by the White Sox. They probably should be up by 2 or 3 runs. So for just the simple fact that our defense was pretty good, we're down 1-0, and we only have 3 hits all day. So we have to find a way to manufacture something here late in the matchup. JP with a single, Cal Raleigh with a double, and then Leody Taveras with a double. That's pretty much everything for the Mariners. Let's see who's up next here, who can be a hero for Seattle. Next up for the Mariners here in the top of the ninth, 1 for 3, a guy that is fucking due for a homer with that torpedo bat, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, first baseman, Rowdy Tellez. Unless they make some kind of substitutions, but they've already substituted quite a few guys already. So I assume that we'll go with Cal, Randy, and Rowdy, and we can win with those three, or at least tie. Fingers crossed. Let them know, Alec. Takes 1 second to be able to hit the like button, you know. But we've been doing pretty well. I mean, we've been getting, 1,000 to 2,000 views on almost every stream for the last few weeks. And that was kind of the goal, to try to be able to get 1,000 views or more on every stream. But obviously, the better the Mariners do, the better results that we're going to get too. So. Let's go Mariners. You got to believe, baby. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Let's go, big dumper. First pitch to big dumper Cal Raleigh from Jordan Leisure. Fouls that one off. 0-1 count. Trident's up. Let's go, Cal. You can do it, baby. You can be the hero. Let's go, Cal. Brian Wu, Cal Raleigh, and Andres Munoz will be in the All-Star game in 2025. Hopefully Dan Wilson will be the manager. And if Julio keeps playing well, we might even have him as a backup reserve. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is inside at the hips. 1 ball and 1 strike from Leisure to Raleigh. Come on, Cal. And we got Logan Evans on the mound tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. And I know we're going to win with him tomorrow. So it's like, do we want to try to win a sweep? Or are we going to win 2 out of 3? We're going to win the series. Logan Evans is going to pitch like a fucking G tomorrow, let me tell you. Pitch is outside, 5 feet off the plate with the splitter. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 243 average, 15 homers, 32 ribbies, pacing for 55 homers and 120 ribbies. I don't know what he'll get, but normally he gets 30 to 35 without the torpedo bat. But with the torpedo bat, left and right, he might be able to get to 40, and that would be great for us Mariner fans. Pitch fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Leisure to Raleigh. I hear you, Paisley. My pup is whining. She said, Dad, let me in. Cal on one knee. Come on, baby. Top of the ninth. Nobody on. No outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Leisure to Raleigh, and he fouls one off his ankle there. That's why he went down to one knee. In play on the 2-2 pitch and popped out to third, 1 away. Next up, 0 for 3 with a K, a guy that could be a hero, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. I mean, if there was a time that we needed you, it's fucking right now, especially since Cal wasn't able to get anything going there after fouling off that last pitch off his ankle. That's going to balloon up a little bit. Go get some ice, brother. Come on, Randy. First pitch to Randy Arozarena, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking in the bottom corner of the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Trident's up, baby. Come on. Bring that electricity, baby. We need it. 1 swing, we can tie this game up, and then we'll win. Based off momentum alone. 1-1 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Leisure to Randy Arozarena. Come on, baby. We win this game, we can get a sweep tomorrow. We lose this game, we can still win 2 out of 3, but after getting 15 runs on the Padres and them only scoring 3 and sweeping them, you would think, okay, if you can sweep the Padres, you should be able to sweep the White Sox. But again, different team, different vibe. We played up to the competition. We're playing down to the competition. And anytime you play down to the competition, bad things can happen. Pitch is low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Leisure to Randy Arozarena. 3-1 pitch. Right down the middle, taking a strike looking. Right down the pipe. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 1 out. Leisure on the mound for the White Sox. Randy Arozarena, the left fielder, in the box. Come on, Randy. Come on, baby. Come on, Randy. I mean, even just getting on base with a walk or getting hit by a pitch. I mean, he's kind of the new Ty France now. Gets hit by pitchers more than anyone else on the team. Tries to jam Randy. Fouls that one off. Now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Even just a single would be great, or a walk. Come on. Come on, Randy. And fuck, they got Donovan Solano on deck. We might be fucked. Jesus Christ. If that was Tyler Locklear, I'd feel a hell of a lot better. The Mariners did not spend a whole lot of money, and they should have spent that money with bullpen guys instead of getting Miles Mastrobuoni and Donovan Solano. And Randy strikes out swinging. Fuck. We might lose 1-0. We'll come back tomorrow with Logan Evans on the mound. That's for damn sure. But, it's always shitty when you lose a game. But remember, we didn't have our starter pitch. We ended up having Casey Legomina start the game, who's a bullpen guy. And then we ended up having Casey Lawrence pitch after that. But, it still ended up only being 1-0, but what a brutal way to lose. All right, now we need Donovan Solano, our worst player, to come up big. I don't know if he'll do it, but we'll see. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. I guess if Donovan Solano can get a walk here, that would be the best case scenario. Him getting hit by a pitch or getting walked. Don't fucking swing. Pitch is high and inside, 2-0 count. Oh, this is promising. This is promising. Here we go. Come on, Solano. And no one expects Solano to hit a homer. That would be like the most shocking thing fucking ever, Just don't fucking swing and just take a fucking walk. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike in the top of the 9th. 1-0 White Sox lead. And we need a miracle here with our worst player on the team in the box. I mean, but besides him and Trent Thornton, but Trent Thornton, a bullpen pitcher, is on the IL. But those are the 2 worst players on the Mariners this year. Thornton and Solano. No question. No debating. No arguing. Period. Top of the 9th, 1-0 Chicago. Come on, Solano, you fucking bum. Come on, Donovan. In play. Wow, and Solano does it. Wow, wow, wow. Go, 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 go. And Donovan Solano with a fucking double. Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit. Let's go. I would have been cool with a single right there. Oh my God. Thank God. All right, here we go. Here's our chance. 1 for 3 with a K with 2 outs. Can he do it? Right fielder, Leody Taveras. Come on, Leody. We have a chance now. I mean, even if we just tie it up 1-1, I know we can win 2-1, in 10 or 11. I know we can. We just have to find a way to tie it. Big clutch hit by Solano. I wouldn't say redemption. You're a professional baseball player. Again, you shouldn't be starting off the year 4 for 40 and his batting average being like .50. Now he's been able to climb in the mid 100s. He's still the shittiest player on our team, but it's a nice thing to see, late in a game where he actually did something. He's batting 143, and thank God he got that hit. We'll take it. First pitch to Leody Taveras from Leisure. Takes a strike looking, high and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch to Taveras. High and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Leisure to Leody. Come on, baby. Come on, Leody. 1-1 pitch. High and away. It's a theme. 2 balls and 1 strike from Leisure to Leody Taveras. Come on, baby. Dig deep. Find a way. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs with a runner at second, Donovan Solano, who somehow, some way got a fucking double to give us at least a little breath of life. But we got to see if Leote can actually get on base or knock him in. Top of the 9th, runner at second, Donovan Solano, 1-0 White Sox lead. The rain delay really fucked us. I mean, that's really what it came down to. But pitching was good from both teams. But, the bats were non-existent for both teams as well. I feel like the rain delay really fucked with the, momentum and just kind of the routine for the hitters. But for the pitchers, it didn't affect them one bit. I mean, if you have a guy making his debut in 2025 and a bullpen guy, you would assume that this game would have been like 7-5 or 7-6 or something, but not the case. 2-2 pitch. High and away. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second. We're in the top of the 9th. The White Sox need 1 strike and the game is over. Come on, Leote. And pitch fouled off. Count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with the runner at second. Leisure on the mound. Taveras in the box. Come on, baby. Come on, Leote. And big swing and a miss, and that is game. Final score, Chicago White Sox 1, Seattle Mariners 0. Brutal, after having an hour and a half rain delay. Again, we didn't have a starting pitcher pitch for us. We ended up having, for the very first time of the season, a bullpen guy come in, and then another bullpen guy come in after that, Casey Legomina and Casey Lawrence. But again, they only gave up a run. But unfortunately, the Mariner bats did not come alive today, going against a guy that was making his MLB debut as a free agent. But I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. But we are going to be able to win the series because we got Logan Evans on the bump tomorrow. It'll be much better tomorrow, but definitely hurts, only getting 4 hits, the whole game. And again, Logan Evans will get redemption for us tomorrow. I will be live at 11 a.m. Pacific for the series win for the Mariners and the White Sox. Brutal, after sweeping the Padres and scoring 15 runs and only giving up 3. This was really a shitty time, to be able to only put up 4 hits. But again, the rain delay definitely fucked up the momentum and the routine of the hitters. And again, we may see rain tomorrow, but we will get a different result. Appreciate everybody that came through to like, sub, donate, comment, share. Captain, thank you for lead mod duties. I appreciate you very, very much. And hopefully we'll get a different result tomorrow. I know we will. And again, final score, Chicago White Sox 1, Seattle Mariners 0. You're not going to see too many scores out of that scoreboard from the Mariners this season, but unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Tomorrow, Logan Evans on the bump, and I will be on live on stream at 11 a.m. Pacific. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Trident's up. We're going to get the dub tomorrow. Go Mariners.